Yo, what up? You're tuned in right now with SpeakerBox X, V-Riv, and Thesis right now on the ones and twos. We doing what we do. Jump on in.
This is KTDT Tucson. You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio. Your antidote to corporate radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect, with your host V-Riv, and we have a very special guest in the house. They go by Aquafyde Boogey Bros. We've been chopping it up. And how did you come up with your artist name, Aquafyde Boogey Bros?
In the early part of the group, we had a different name, and as the music started kind of changing, and we started growing with the different sound, the name that we had just wasn't working at the time. And we were just hanging out and we were kicking it. And then Nice was like, we need to change the name, man. That the old name is not working for, the way it is that we sound now, the way it is that we look now. We had more smoothed it out as far as just, coming out of like the black hippie of the 90s type thing, the college kid, the college kid, revolutionary rap versus how we were moving and a whole new sound. So he was just like, we need to come up with a name like Aquafyde Boogey Bros. He just said it. And so when he said it, I was like, man, that's dope. And so when I started saying it out and about and be places, be like, hey man, this is the new name now. People was like, that's dope. They loved it. It. So we were like, all right, cool. Aquafyde Boogey Brothers. And there was no super science behind it, you know what I mean? Like no deeper,
It just felt right.
Real simple, yeah. It just came out. Yeah, it just came out. Yeah.
That's good. Good stuff. How did you two meet?
We're actual brothers.
Yeah, that's my brother.
So I've known him for a while.
Yeah, he known me for a little bit, we just
we happened to pass each other in the night and said, yo man,
what's up?
What you into? B-boy, Emceeing?
I'm the oldest, he's the youngest.
Oh, yeah. Nice. What type of music and or artists played a major role in shaping your adolescent years?
We came out of the end of the funk era. The funk, the funk was serious, Cameo, Time, Barcades, and that music really was kind of like the hardest music during the time when we were kids, because before the breakdancing started popping was the actual most popular street dancing that was going on. So when you go to sports camp and the kids was playing all the funk, Daz Band, more stuff like that before you started listening to like Curtis Blow and yada yada yada, Sugar Hill, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, stuff like that. But the funk was really a big major because the funk was just like was the hardest. I mean, of course, R&B was still, you know, of course we loved all the R&B and stuff, you know, without question. But the funk just started shaping our generational, you know, influence was really from there.
Yeah.
Okay. What was a pivotal point in your life that made you decide that emceeing was something you two wanted to pursue? Do you remember that moment, that time encapsulated?
As far back as I can remember in terms of emceeing, it was listening to the message and the telling of a story, and then listening to like Nucleus. And that was the first time I thought that I wanted to write a rhyme, possibly, you know. And then by the time I was in junior high school, hip hop was everywhere as opposed to how it was, like he said, when we were younger. And so it was just something that you did. If you were a B-boy, you were doing graffiti, you were writing rhymes, you were doing it all. You were trying to be in it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I never really touched was a turntable.
Okay,
so,
that's not bad.
Yeah, it was everything.
That's not bad.
You know, and with the influence of like music, period, like we, you know, I was also into singing too. I used to like to be, you know, I wanted to be like New Edition and be like, you know, be like
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. Yeah. But then, you know, when they did their little rap style stuff, I used to think, you know, it was kind of too. But then when BBD came and they kind of was able to hybrid both the, you know, hip hop R&B style way of putting things together, and they actually had doper rhymes, you know, that was an influence on the fact that I was like, you know, you can actually do that as a style versus like these ideas that this music is only for certain select individuals. But like Super Lover C, Casanova Rudd, and believe it or not, when I heard Ice-T's Rhyme Pays, then I was like, see, that's what you're supposed to do right there. That's it. Right there. Yeah.
All right, with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a musical break. I'm gonna go play the Illy Hutch by Aquafyde Boogey Bros.
This ain't a showdown, you lack the know-how. Me, I'm a pro pal, and no, this ain't SoCal. So AZ, yo, go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rocks, so say these folks. I'm an air on the side of wildin'. Dive head first in the style, and the live ones file in. Off your backside, we passing out cups of that act ride. Even old heads hollering that's tight, just might get it poppin'. Take a wife and hit the town, get down after we finish shopping. Stop in at the cabaret. It's already chunky in the afternoon, it must be a Saturday. The desert where the savage play. The wild, wild west where we party best, where you stay. This ain't a showdown, you lack the know-how. Me, I'm a pro pal, and no, this ain't SoCal. So AZ, yo, go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rocks, so say these folks.
Pussy cats knew I'm the biggest, and the itch that I'm rehearsing right to a picture of your baby's mom back when she was tight. I'm in the cockpit, I pop at this crucify kids. Little rugged man, bring the raw, turn them into crustified dips. People with the pin, my zen is dead. Poet society, my writing a ghost niggas before I'm ever Patrick Swayze. Easy, know this, I love that Outsiders movie. Black like he's played by Teddy Riley, set the next move is slicker than her tongue. No joke, kiddo, like Black Widow devouring her young. Octung, baby. Cheers to the Pam Grier titties with a shotgun, ladies.
So AZ, yo, go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rocks, so say these folks. So AZ, yo, go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rocks, so say these folks.
It's really not gravy, the steak in this is Salisbury. Not just a dope boy, plus the pound cakes. Pillsbury, skills vary when these shape shifters wanna front, so we switch hit them with that Beastie Boy. So what you want?
The mood is right, moonlight's the invite to groove tonight, man, this is the life. It is what it is, this is not for kids. This that grown-up double shot of Hennessy, we stepping out the crib. This ain't a showdown, you lack the know-how. Me, I'm a pro pal, and no, this ain't SoCal. So AZ, yo, go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rocks, so say these folks. Two-stepping like I'm walking the theme music. Smooth, effortless when we do it, even got G's moving. Ask if it's funky, man, that's absurd. Monologues make money, my mellow mark my words.
Rock the funky beat.
So AZ, yo, go baby, go.
Rock the funky beat.
Go baby, go. Don't stop, the party rock.
Rock the
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, your antidote to corporate radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect, with your host, V-Riv. We just played the track called The Illy Hutch by the Aquafyde Boogey Bros, and we're just chopping up, we're catching up, and we just found out about their adolescent years, the music they listened to, what they grew up with, and we're going to continue to dive into the mind of the Aquafyde Boogey Bros, and they're real brothers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about what was the track called Spike Lee about? I'm curious about that one. I mean, I'm a big fan of Spike Lee. I mean, he's a great director, but what made you want to call your track Spike Lee, or what influenced you to create that track?
When I listened to that musical track, it reminded me of soundtracks that came from Spike Lee movies. And so it gave me a feeling of a Spike Lee joint, you know, a vision of like a party, like pro-blackness. It was just like, you could hear, that first thing that came to mind was a Spike Lee joint, was like watching Do the Right Thing, watching School Days, and hearing the soundtrack in the background, and how much of a part of those movies that those soundtracks were.
Those horns in that track, it sounds like the intro to one of his movies. It's, you know, it sounds like the movie.
It hits hard. No,
yeah, you know, and then the contact that we're talking about kind of fits into, you know, his types of movies. Do the Right Thing, School Days, two of our favorites. You know what I mean?
School Days is the movie. After I watched that movie, that's what made me want to attend a black college, an historically black college, university. Was after watching School Days. I said, that's the life that I want to be in right there.
Nice. Okay. When was the first time you picked up the mic? How did it feel? When, like, what age were you? Where was it?
I'll have to think about that, because like he said, the first time we picked up the mic, we were singing funk songs, and we were singing like Jackson 5 songs. And so that was years and years. The first time, as far as being an MC, picking up the microphone and doing a rhyme on the mic in a setting in front of a crowd and moving a crowd, that would be 1987.
Oh wow, okay.
For me.
Okay.
I think, he did. That's true. For me, I always think that it would be like more into the 90s, because once we started beginning more with like-minded individuals and people who were more also influential from the local scene, we started working with MCs that, you know, had that experience. And then you start, you know, trying to, you know, do what you got to do. You also find out that how to hold the mic, because some people really don't rock the mic the way they're supposed to rock it. They just holding it, you know what I mean? You learn how to actually start using your voice correctly, how to hold it right, where to hold it away from how you hold it away from your mouth, you know. And so for me, it was not until my 20s, not until the golden era of hip hop. Yeah. When we started doing shows with Suge, we started opening up with Suge, and, you know, you try to cup it like this and it's all too close. You're like, nah, and they tell you. That was 89, 90.
Wow.
Yeah. You know,
no mercy,
sound man to tell you, hey man, you gotta take your hand off the mic like that. You can't do that. You can't even hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Where was the first performance you had? Where was it? Was it downtown Tucson? Where exactly? Do you remember the venue?
It was a high school tour.
Oh, okay.
Suge's management group brought Breeze, an MC called Breeze, and they came up with the smart idea to do a high school tour in Tucson. So they did Sunnyside, Desert View, Palo Verde, you know what I mean? They did all the schools, and we had we went to school together. So when he was like, yo, why don't you guys come open? And that's when we first started doing shows. Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, you know, because we had already had our little dance squad and our little, you know, R&B squad, and so he's like, oh yeah, you guys come, you know, do shows with us and open up with us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a musical break. I'm gonna go ahead and play your track called Spike Lee by Aquafyde Boogey Bros, and this is off their album The Chronicles of Philander Brown and Nebula Black.
suede puma to a black fist, offer for the takeover, accompanied by a violin riff. Hold your breath, talking about keeping it real with 2 turntables and a mic. I transformed the Bobby Seal. By any means necessary, do what you like. Power to the people, go for what you know, but don't believe the hype. Mongoose manuscript designed for serpents. Bruce bars, big time on purpose. Cooler than a penguin rockin' Stacey Adams. Black ice, nice fit, fire like a dragon. Death swarm, look what the wildcat dragged in. B-boy stances, attitude and passion. No frills to the bump, straight to the point. Melody remind me of a Spike Lee joint. Not the flower, but the root. Super spectacular, brown hornet in a slick suit and spaced out loud.
Black America, weekend warrior. Ancestors proud cause we back to Africa. So watch when you profile, this is a death style. Anticipation, other suckers keep hating. We don't gang talk because there's no affiliation. We only want the cream and your girl thing shaking like a strip dancer. She say come on take a chance, we rock Adidas and shorty pop, I got the answer. What is the cut, y'all? It don't rock, abs strive to be the newest. What the word, what the news is, red, white and blue music. But they want me scared of Obamacare and high school students. Just remember E for the vocation. Show up unexpected with 1,000 Haitians. And don't start fronting when the beats drop, cause we know what music rocks the whole damn nation.
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, your antidote to corporate radio. You're now tuning into SpeakerBox X, Subterranean Hip Hop in Effect with your host V-Riv. We just played the track called Spike Lee by Aquafyde Boogey Bros, and that's off their album The Chronicles of Philander Brown and Nebula Black. We just been chopping it up. They opened up for Suge, which is dope because he's from Tucson. And it's nice to know the early humble beginnings of the Aquafyde Boogey Bros. And we're gonna go ahead and keep diving into the mind of the Aquafyde Boogey Bros. So my other question to you is, the Illy Hutch is a great song. How did that track come together? Because that's one of my favorites.
Right. That's one of my favorites too. I love that song.
That's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the studio and we were listening to funk and soul music, trying to find something to grab onto to start a song. And what was the artist?
His name is Willie Hutch.
Yeah, the artist's name is Willie Hutch.
Oh, okay.
And we were listening to one of his songs and it was funky and it was ill. And so we just decided that however the song was going to be, it was going to be called The Illy Hutch, because it was like an ill beat that came together just like simultaneously.
And shout out to Mumbles. He's the one that produced the song. His production has went like this. He produced that song. He produced We Are the Brothers. He does a lot of production, but he produced that song.
Yeah.
And when we came back, it was already flipped, and he was like, "Man, we'd have to do nothing." He flipped it.
Yeah,
it was dope.
So yeah, that's one of our favorites. Like,
yeah.
We love just as soon as it comes in, as soon as you hear it come in, and that the bottom in it, like the bottom in it, it just pulls you in, and I like the old school dirty drum track in the back, and it sounds
ill.
Yeah, it's really ill. It's almost it's not rock, but it's got an energy that's kind of rockish, you know what I mean? And I like that. It's not rock. It's for more funk, but the way that I like that.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Which artists or songs do you turn to motivate or inspire you?
As far as inspiration goes, you inspire or like get going, getting hyped. Because when I think about getting inspired, I think about somebody like Rakim. Rakim elevates you. Like Black Thought elevates you.
Ooh, Black Thought. I like Black Thought. Yeah.
Like those type of MCs elevate you. When I think about getting hyped, like I used to always tell my kids that, like, you guys need songs to get hyped to. Then I play some like Onyx, some MOP, some DMX.
Oh, R.I.P. Yeah. R.I.P.
You know,
yeah.
Redman, you know, and like just certain songs get you hyped. Certain songs are like soundtracks. Like if you're traveling cross country, you know, you throw on Tribe Called Quest and you listen to the whole album front to back, you know, or you throw on Mobb Deep Infamous and you listen from front to back, you know, you kind of just melt into the music. But as far as one woman, you're trying to get a moment and feel a certain type of way, you know, there's too many MCs to name, but those are the ones that come to the forefront.
Okay.
I also like
Oh, cool.
I like a lot of music. There, I get inspired by a lot of stuff, not just the hip hop.
Yeah.
But there's no new funk out right now. But I mess with Anderson .Paak. He's dope. He's really dope.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And but I just say that I'm influenced by a lot of music, and the fact that the music that you're writing to, that has to be inspirational too. So it's the beat. Sometimes when you get the music and you're listening to it, it's like, man, this is making me feel, feeling like this or feeling like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, I was just listening to Black Betty, Ram Jam. That was hype. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just hear something and it pulls you in like, I forgot about that. That's all the way. That's from the 70s, you know what I mean? But it's like,
Yeah.
man, like music is
Timeless, really.
Yeah, timeless.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Like Earth, Wind, Fire, I feel like they were so far ahead in terms of their music style. Like, I mean, like, I still feel like it's not even, I feel like it's happening right now. I don't feel like it's something that came from the 70s. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
I think
that's what good music does. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the greatest. I think that's what that album that they made was one of the greatest albums that's ever been made. Those those out, they were special. They were special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when their name says it all, Earth, Wind, and Fire, I feel like that's already like, they're already calling upon, you know what I mean? Earth, wind, fire, you know what I mean? All the elements, you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But going back to you, what's your opinion on the state of hip hop? Is it in a state of renaissance, emergency? And what do you think about Tucson hip hop? What's your opinion on it? Are we progressing in the right way? Is there more open opportunity for Tucson MCs to come up? What's your take on it?
I think Tucson hip hop's in a good place. There would always be cool that you start getting more breakthrough sounds. Right now, I think ASCII's is got to be one of the dopest artists that I've heard in a while. That actually, what I hear is like you can hear, you can hear talented MCs. I think there's a lot of talented MCs without question. But then you don't necessarily hear I like to hear joints and jams like, dang, that was dope. I want to play it again. I can listen to a song and be like, yo, he's dope. Yeah, he can rap. Yeah, he's tight, no doubt. Or he's got, but I may not necessarily feel like that the song is like, like it's not that it's whack. I ain't trying to, dump on nobody. Just breakthrough music that makes you feel like I want to play that again. And I think hip hop, period, I don't know, it's going through that again. Like I'm just saying, hey, when's the last time you heard a verse from an MC that made you go, man, we used to talk about that back in the day. Have you heard the verse from this on this? No, you need to hear that. You know what I mean? Have you heard the collaboration with such and such and such? No. Oh, I need to get you that right now. I haven't heard that in a while. Just in a long while where someone says, man, have you heard the way Homeboy got like this or Homegirl did this on this, that, and the other? Like, no, I haven't heard it. Like, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's true. It's really hard to find, that type of music. I mean, there's a lot of talent, no doubt. You're right, but there's just some that you're like, it hits you in a way that's like, this one's like super special.
Right.
No doubt.
Like,
I want to be driving through Tucson and hear people bumping something that a Tucson artist has made that is like that's the jam.
Yeah, that's the joint right there. Like,
I want people to get sick of it. Like, dog, that song is always cut. Like, you're damn right. That's our people right there bumping that.
We should break tips back then, you know what I mean?
So
you should break tips, playing it over and over and over
this
again.
Is the joint.
Yeah.
These are the joints.
Right.
Every great artist, great MC, they have a joint that you're like, I'll play that over and over and over, and the last thing that I heard that I thought that was hard was the Inglorious Blaxicans.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Rise One, Uno, and that moved me.
Perfect example. They got a song called Hell Nah. It's a jam. It's a joint. Like you play that, like you could play it, and play it again. It's like that's a joint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was the last time when I heard like an album was like, this needs to be on everywhere. Like this stuff needs to be playing everywhere.
Right.
Like this is what music is supposed to sound like, and they found that groove, and it was in the cut. And like he said, there was jams. Like there's multiple jams on that where it's like, every album has that. Whether it's R&B, rock and roll, whether it's Guns N' Roses, you can remember like the jams on that album. Like, oh, remember this one, and this one, and that's how that album was when I listened to that one.
Yeah,
that was
there's
one.
A track from E Fresh that hits hard. It's called Amsoil Arizona. That is a jam. Amsoil Arizona by E Fresh.
Right.
The production on that.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have.
That was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I am so Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could jam to this and be, bumping in my car.
And what I've noticed though is interesting is that so many MCs are trying to rep Arizona and rep Tucson and rep different areas or wherever they're from. But so many people who are from the area don't want to hear songs about them repping where they're from. They just want to hear songs that they think are jams. And so sometimes you can't get them to listen to that particular cut because, oh, it's a song about Arizona. Oh, it's a song about 520. Oh, it's a song about Tucktown. Right. Oh, so a lot of times that can work against artists to get that cut listened to. So even if the cut is great, they see that it's got the name 520, Tucktown, Arizona, and they're like, oh, another one of those songs. And so, sometimes you have to be creative with how you pull them in with even just the title.
You know what they should do? I'm so A.
Yeah, I'm so A.
Right. It's too late. They already pressed play. They got caught. You know what I mean?
But I have noticed that in just looking at how people receive music and how they receive artists.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and go on a musical break. I'm going to go ahead and play the track Talum by the Aquafyde Boogey Bros.
I want to live a good life without no drama no more. Try to feel to get right and ask yourself, what is it for? We gotta get the hook time because this music's doing us wrong. And if they don't know now, then I think you better tell them.
Let the flock up out the coop, we gonna fly out. You try to stem the tide, wasting all your time out. Up against the press, we are not impressed. Made money off the sellout, them boys ain't been rapping since. Lyrics all for profit, we lost momentum. Knowledge replaced with garbage, we lost the children. Forsaking our women, sitting down in crunch time, acting like Scottie Pippen. A lot of friction, all because they got it twisted. About to set them straight and I'd advise y'all to listen. The dark side has risen, take a ride with the unforgiven. Justice is hidden behind the odds of a crooked system. Cowards stand on the outside and looking, better be knee deep in the stew when revolution is cooking.
Without no drama no more, brother, here to get right and ask yourself, what is it for? You gotta get the hook time because this music's doing us wrong. And if they don't know now, then I think you better tell them.
Call me egotistical. Around and have that ego get you fools with entitlement issues. Privileged spoiled brats, they get broke off something proper, fronting on social networks like they thorough with the shoppers. Cream of the croppers, leave trade markers around your eyes. Despise wise guys, more sugar than Mickey D fries. They acting like it is sweet until real gorillas catch your monkey ass slipping in the streets. And you eat cheese, lab rat stoked off the chemicals. Your DNA tarnished, watered down from the original. Blood flood your retina, burn optical illusions. Straight off the Suwanaki gang. Right on your dimension. Not to mention they'll drop 600 G's on the mission. Lobster tails on beachfronts while dragging out your misses. Swindlers deceive you halfway G's that squander your souls from pros aside of your league.
Without no drama no more, brother, here to get right and ask yourself, what is it for? You gotta get the hook time because this music's doing us wrong. And if they don't know now, then I think you better tell them.
We're exhausted how you spitting, how you cocking it back. With goons on my lawn, y'all false prophets getting on. The perceptions of that, it really doesn't look so hard now. Where were all these goons when Eric Gardner was getting choked out? Y'all cooked up for 6 ducks, corral slaughter on party bus. In God we trust, it made you tardy than a mother. Apocalypse now, checkmate this attack on Discovery. 120 degrees of technology. My philosophy, you got a crew, you better tell them. Ex-felons and melancholy niggas, shots to the cerebellum. These demons do the Stargate straight from Saturn. Revelation is no longer a dream, this is Armageddon. So all them chains, them whips and dips, you better be equipped with that golden ticket. Electric magnetic pulse, shut down the grid. You left in the dark, yo, can you see my nigga?
Without no drama no more. Brothers really get right. And ask yourself, what is it for? You gotta get the hook time. Because this music's doing us wrong. And if they don't know now, then I think you better tell them, tell them, tell them.
You're listening to 99.1 FM Downtown Radio, your antidote to corporate radio. You're now listening to SpeakerBox X with V-Riv, and we just played the track Talum by Aquafyde Boogey Bros, and that's off their album called The Chronicles of Philander Brown and Nebula Black. We're going to go ahead and continue to dive into the mind of the Aquafyde Boogey Bros. We talked about the state of hip-hop, and we're going to go ahead and find out, what do you do in your spare time? Like, what books, movies, magazines have you been reading or listening to?
I have been going to the record store with my youngest son and buying vinyls. So we've actually been going back in time. We just got Purple Rain. We got Thriller. We just got, and then he got some new school cats like Lil Uzi Vert and Roddy Rich, you know, so I've been going to get vinyl with my son and listening. So I've been listening to old school albums and some new school stuff, really listening to those. And I when I'm reading up on Arizona sports in general. You know, Arizona just got a new coach, got rid of the old coach.
Yeah, heard.
Listening to podcasts. Yeah,
which ones?
Listening to you, watching SpeakerBox.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, watching SpeakerBox for sure.
Disney Plus. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm all over it. Mandalorian, all over it. I like getting away like that, like looking at, you know, binge watching something. I'm all about the superhero joints. I'm all about the space Star Wars joints all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So, would you like to share a personal experience or something most people don't know about you two? Is there like, you want to share a personal experience that not a lot of people know about?
When I was in the 4th grade here in Tucson, Arizona, I was on a TV show called The Baseball Bunch over at Palo Verde Park with Johnny Bench, and I met a bunch of Major League Baseball players. And Johnny Bench actually took me to go see the movie Beverly Hills Cop. We had finished shooting for the night, and he took me and a couple other people to go see Beverly Hills Cop, and then took me home. Movie. Yeah,
that's such a good movie.
That's one of the greatest ever. So that's an interesting fact.
Wow. Can you top that?
In 1990, no, I can't top that. But in 93, Mario Van Peebles came down here and he did the movie Posse. Okay. And a lot of the locals were able to be stand-ins and do extra parts. I was actually a what they call a auxiliary stand-in, and I was able to get 2 close-up shots in that movie. So if you watch Posse movie, you see 2 shots of Brody Bro. You know, on the chain gang, there's a chain gang scene. Yeah, and you get to, because some of the homies went to go see the movie, and they called me talking about, hey man, you're in the movie. And I was like, what? Yeah, we saw you clear as day. I was like, word up.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, they need to send me my check. No.
Still ain't got that check, huh?
They need to send you some royalties, man.
You know what I'm
They're
saying?
using your
Anything, you know what I'm
face.
saying? I need to call
Right.
Mario right now. Yo, what's up? What's the peoples? Where my money, man? No.
Right.
He didn't answer.
Right.
Oh, that's funny. What was your favorite Halloween costume? This is just a fun question.
Yeah, it is. My favorite Halloween costume was I dressed up as a Ghostbuster. My sixth grade year, I took my dad's air suit and I put that on and buttoned it up the front. Had the most, put a box over top of the of a backpack, and I put a tube out of it and connected it. Yeah, that was definitely the one. The logo was official with the patch. Brody artist skills with the patch. Yeah, the Ghostbusters was the one. Not the paper with the string on the back. It was all all legitimate.
Right. Me and my mom made Spider-Man Spider-Man costume from scratch from one of her old dresses or something she had, and then she had these blue leotards. And they probably shouldn't say leotards, but tights. But anyway, we made Spider-Man outfit straight up, and it looked like Spider-Man.
Man, it was.
I had the whole Spider-Man.
It was movie quality.
Yeah, I looked like
way back in 1982 or something.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, darn.
It's all love. It's all good. You're good. So, who do you look up to? Do you look up to anybody or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are influences, and a lot of people that we admire, that we look up to, and say, yeah, if you're gonna do it like that, or I mean, like just anybody, or
who's your go-to? Like off the dome, who would be someone that comes to mind?
Muhammad Ali.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali is always one that. Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King,
Bruce Lee. Yeah, the greats, man. The greats. Anyone who actually touched people's lives with their
and elevated people.
Yeah. Just because they were who they were, like, dang, you want to be like that.
Yeah.
My father.
Yeah, my father, pops.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. What's the backdrop story to Rain? I like Rain too. What's the backdrop story to that?
Our close friend, Renee, he actually called us and said, I have this beat I want you to listen to. I think y'all would really, really, really like the beat. And he came through, and I remember we sat in his car and went for a drive, and we listened to that song. And just like the Illy Hutch, similarly, like it was just hard, and it was really melodic and musical, yet hard. And that's what I really liked. The bass line, the bass line really had it was just very musical. Any good song, you can have a bass line and a drum track, and it just rides, and you can just and it just rides, and that's how that one really hit us.
And the producer had already had the hook in there. That joint, he already had the Rain rocking in there. So we wrote based off of the Rain experience, how long we've been doing it. We referenced the mission and how long we've been in doing this, doing this Tucson hip hop thing, or this hip hop thing, or this musical thing. You know what I mean? And that just inspired the lyrical content to be about, the time and the experience spent with doing this.
That's dope. I'm so happy that you've been in the scene. You stayed in Tucson. You keep doing your thing, because I know we've had quite a few leave us. Like, they go and venture other worlds.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm glad that you've stayed here. You stayed true to like Tucson. You know what I mean? The scene. So for real, because we've had quite a few that kind of flew the coop, so to speak. And then I don't know if they're ever gonna come back, but it's all good.
Right. Well, I guess it's hard because Tucson, it's hard to be able to they do just that, expand, because of how local it is.
So what can we do? Okay, that's a good question. What can we do to be able to expand in Tucson? Like, is it because we don't have enough venues? What is causing that to happen?
Well, that is part of it, because people, like you said, people go other places because they want exposure to a bigger group and audience. And Tucson used to be connected with all other major cities when it came to major concerts and major events that would happen, that you know, people feel like, well, this place over here has more going on. There's more eyes.
Yeah.
There's more people who are in the mix doing things, you know. So you just, I think sometimes it's a different approach nowadays too, because with social media, you can find an avenue if you have followers and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that it's a matter of community as opposed to competition, because it's a small, you know, Tucson's a bigger city than people realize, but it's also, the mentality is it's a big town, you know, and it's like a town, but it's like, you know, if you think about the mentality of cities, when artists rise, they always talk about the cities behind them. You know, all of Queens Bridge is behind Nas when he rises, and everybody in New York is like, yo, that's the guy, and everybody's on it.
Yeah.
So if it's like, yo, if there's 1 million people in New York listening to that, then we need to see what that is. You know, same with Minneapolis funk. If The Time and Prince are doing the funk and they're just in Minneapolis, but then they're all pushing them up like, yo, these are our people who are doing their thing. And so it has to be community, because that's how Atlanta artists rise, because the community is behind them. And we have so much competition, but it's not enough. It's not
enough ears, maybe.
Crews, it's not enough ears to be separate. You know, there's not enough ears to be separate.
There's a lot of, you know, cliquish type ways in Tucson. It's been like that since back in the day.
Since breakdance,
it's never changed. You know, and so it's no one's fault. You know what I mean? And it's something. It's okay, because you understand, like, because when you want you and your peoples to be able to prosper or function without, you know, you may not want to necessarily get into whatever the next man has got popping, but it's a different type of competition where it's almost kind of like, you know, there's a lot of favoritism in writing. You know, we used to have the Fresh Fest used to come here, and the Budweiser Superfest used to come here. You know what I mean? So venue does have a lot to do with it. We used to have the big joints come here.
Yeah, what happened? Like, why did they all kind of died off? Like, I was
answer that one.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I'm curious to know what happened.
1990, 1991, Governor Ev Meekum got rid of the Martin Luther King holiday as an official holiday in Arizona. When he did that, every major artist said that they wouldn't come back until they brought back the holiday.
Right.
And that killed so much of the business and the commerce and the look of how people viewed, you know, Arizona, you know, as a state, and how welcoming they were to Public Enemy, Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder. Those are all artists who performed in Arizona and went on stage and stated that they would not be back in the state until we brought back the holiday, and we, you know, changed our way of thinking. And it was like,
we brought it back though in '93.
Yeah, we did, but it also puts a stain on you.
It's a stain.
And it's like, you know, from the mid '90s on, the TCC hosting big concerts and having big events and filling those events became an issue.
See, that's where Cab and Night Stalker stepped in. Suge and Cab, the management group that was managing him, they were doing the promotion. They were managing Suge. They were still trying to fill up that arena. So they were still trying to bring the groups to the TCC. But,
yeah,
you know,
we didn't get a lot of the big hip hop concerts. They were always, so if you wanted the big hip hop concert, you had to go to Phoenix. So think about, like you said, the mentality of, oh well, we gotta leave and go here if we want the big hip hop concert. If you want to go see it's
still like that though. You're right.
The big Jay-Z tour, the big Busta Rhymes tour, the big
all those.
Eminem and Dre tour. You got to go.
If it would have still been like back in the day, the Up in Smoke would have came here. The Rough Riders with the Cash Money joint they would have all came to TCC.
Yeah.
But that left a stain.
And so, like, you know, that leaves a buzz. That's a buzz for, like, you know, oh, it's popping. It's popping. So then when you have people giving you content, then they're popping. And then people come here saying, oh, Tucson is popping. And then they, you know, you make connections. Everybody makes connections
Yeah.
through a whole lot of artists who were guys who were local. They get heard about outside of where they're from, and people got to go and see what they're about. But there's a scene there that makes you go there. There's the scene that makes people like, I got to go see. That's why E40 goes all the way to Atlanta and makes an album in Atlanta, because there's a scene there that he wants that he wants to see that's popping. And there's a culture there, and there's a culture in Oakland, and there's a culture in Compton. There's a culture in Houston that everybody's on. So then when somebody's hot, they know that, if these people think
That's
you're
where to
hot, if these people think you're hot, then you got something going on.
Right.
So your community has to have that culture where when somebody says, these dudes are from here and they got the hot stuff, we need to listen. The world listens.
So we definitely need to work on that then. We should have already caught up by now, though. It's been decades since it happened.
People in Tucson like that Tucson is a laid back, not hustling, but like Tucson is now starting to grow.
Yeah.
Right. And my father told me in the 1980s that in 30 years is when Tucson will finally grow. And so look at where we are now, where Tucson is finally expanding, wanting to become a city and expand and become more of a metropolis as opposed to a town, even though it's a city.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, we have a lot of people moving in, a lot of transplants. No shade on you, transplants, but we have a lot of them now coming in.
Right. That's true. Right.
Yeah. So we're almost at the tail end of the show. I guess my last question to you is, since you've lived through it, you were here in the 90s, the 2000s, and now the 21st. What's the growth you've seen in Tucson in terms of hip hop, or maybe you haven't seen that growth? Like, what have you seen? What was different back then compared to now that you would want to bring back that would help support the vision of having Tucson be, I guess, more prosperous in terms of the hip hop scene?
So, not to try to reminisce about the childhood, but in the breakdance days, what was dope is that all the neighborhoods were represented. Everybody came out, and they came to the contests, and they came to the functions. And so you got to imagine how packed it was. You know what I mean? Everybody representing, and no one really trying to make someone feel that they didn't necessarily that's not my man's and them, so I don't really mess with them. They don't do that. They didn't do that back then. Now they do that all the time. Now I don't know homie, so I don't mess with.
That's true. They don't show. You're right. You're right. That does happen still. Like if they don't know you, or like they don't know who's performing, like I'm not gonna show up and see what's that about.
And some of the people got it honest. They got it honest because of where they're from. We don't mess with them over there. So and Scotty Papa Funk used to do that. He would make sure he got, he was really instrumental because, he's first started on KXCI. The first MC battles, he got them together. The first video show on the cable corporation, he had that. She would showcase. We know what was really dope is that when the club crawl culture came to Tucson, he started showcasing the locals. That was dope. The only thing that didn't work out is that they started that favoritism thing. Like, that's my man. So he gets, what I mean? I'm a promoter. I put my man on. And then someone else from over wherever is dope.
We have that issue.
You know what I mean? And that they're dope. You can hear it. You be like, he's dope. But I don't know him. So,
I hear you.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of that favoritism. I think everybody deserves shine. I think I feel like Tucson's big enough for everybody to take a piece of the pie, so I feel like everyone should be able to get that. And I know that there is favoritism because I've seen it. I think we've all, if you're in the hip hop community, you see it. It's you know what I mean? It's like night and day. But it's up to us to really break those habits, break those behaviors. So that's why I like, for example, SpeakerBox X has all types of, artists on SpeakerBox X because I'm trying to be, like what you said, I'm trying to bring back that old school, old fashioned way of seeing things, doing things, because I'm seeing it's not being represented. It's not being represented,
Right.
So
well,
but the thing
I tune into you to stay current, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Because you talk to artists that we haven't ever seen before.
Yeah.
Whereas, no offense, other podcasts they kind of like keep the same artists in the circle, and that's what they
rotation.
Yeah, you seen him over there. I just seen him. He gonna answer the same questions here that he answered over here. Give me somebody new. Yeah.
True. But you know what? That's also been like a hindrance because I guess there's haters out there. You know, if I mean, I even though I give them some of the shine, they're like, I want more shine, but it's like, yo, I want to promote other people, new people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's one of those things, like you said, and I don't play favoritism. I'm all about, sharing the spot. And we have so much diverse music and just talent that it's just sad to limit it. And I know that you're right. We like a lot of the hip hop artists have the wrong mentality. Like if you don't promote me, if you only promoted me once or twice, that's then you know what I mean? There's no reason for me to kick it with you. And that's wrong because it's like, you know what? If it weren't for XYZ or people like me, a lot less people would know about you. So don't forget. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
and you know what? And no matter what, it's like that's a stubborn thing.
Yeah.
They've held on to that for the longest, and it's hurt us so bad. But that's what happens when the egos get involved. That's what happens when people start feeling like they start feeling themselves. Hey, that's what's up. If you're making if you're making your bag, that's what's happening. But when we also try to make history, it's not going to work.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's 100%.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna go ahead and this is the tail end of the interview. My last question is, what are your words of wisdom for anybody that's wanting to pursue hip hop, become an MC? What are the challenges that you faced, and what are the things you would recommend or give advice to in terms of navigating? Because it could be a treacherous terrain. Hip hop is not for the weak-hearted.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So
music, just entertainment, music. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. Recommendations would be, speak the truth, read, like seriously, like expand your vocabulary and be able to speak slick without using phrases that are cliche.
Right on.
You can't say the same thing that someone else said. Everybody talks about the same stuff, but when you are doing entertainment, then you have to be original. So be original. Be original.
Be original for sure.
Cool.
You got to pay your dues. Everyone knows what that means. You got to take the craft serious. So you got to stay true to the game of it.
Yeah, like he said, knowing how to hold the mic.
Yeah, and you got to show and prove. You got to take pride in that. There's not like an option to be whack. That's not an option. You know what I'm saying? You can't be. You know what I mean? Or you got to be dope. That's what the Elements is all about. Breakdancing, Emceeing, DJing, graffiti. Even graffiti, they used to battle with graffiti.
Like you know what I mean? Show and improve.
You got to show and prove.
You can't just make music and be like, I'm dope because I made the music. Like, can you walk up on a cipher? Can you walk into a cipher and flip something and make people who don't know you be like, was on point.
Yeah.
That's when you got skills. When you can be somewhere in Atlanta and walk into a cipher, and when you rhyme, the people in that cipher was like, oh boy, was nice.
Yes.
And they ask you, where are you from? Yeah. And then when you tell them Tucson, Arizona, that's how you represent. You tell them I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Yes, indeed.
That was one of my favorite things about being in Atlanta when I went to school, was telling people after they saw me MC or they saw me B-boy and they say, yo, where are you from? I'm from Tucson, Arizona. Yeah. Yo, I thought you was from here.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. Right. That's how you represent, because you show and prove.
Right.
Because once they see the skills, then they can't. Then what can they say, right? Like you said, how does Tucson come up? Well, if you show them the skills and they're like, "Yo, where are you from?" Then they can't try to make you. Yeah, you can't make it be something else. Exactly. That's a wrap.
Yeah. All right. So it's been a pleasure and honor to have the Aquafyde Boogey Bros on SpeakerBox X. It's always a joy to have you on SpeakerBox X, and I can't wait to hear more from you. I know you dropped the album. Make sure to go ahead and check out the album, The Chronicles of Philander Brown and Nebula Black, by the Aquafyde Boogey Bros. And I can't wait till you drop some more stuff. I know it's been a crazy year, but I'm pretty sure you got a lot stored.
Hopefully. Yeah, the COVID, it jacked it up, man.
For everybody.
In the studio, venues, everything, jacked it all up. Yeah. I missed the Tucson Hip Hop Festival. I was looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, they jacked it all up, man.
Yeah, SpeakerBox X was gonna have its own, event, but COVID just killed it. Yeah, it was gonna be the 5th anniversary of SpeakerBox X. I was gonna host a show.
It
was gonna be pretty cool. But I'll do it for whenever COVID's lifted, when we don't have the issues we had with it. It's gonna be for whenever it's the other anniversary speaker box. Yeah, it might be 6, 7.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the grand reopening, like Bob's Burgers. The grand reopening.
Yes, 100. All right. Well, I'll talk to you two later. Have a great night.
right,
It's been awesome talking to you. Always dropping knowledge. Always dropping dope music, and keep doing what you're doing, and keep representing Tucson to the fullest.
Thank you very much. Peace.
V-Riv.
Right, what up, Aquafyde Boogey Bros?
All right. Peace out.
All right, peace. Take care.
Boom, boom. Hey, yo, Brody. Remember way back, 82, when we was b-boying? When we started grabbing the mic, spitting the rhymes. Look at us now. Come on, rock with me, the known commodity. Here's the odyssey, quality over quantity. Cool and casual, this is frozen flavor. Move with attitude, my crowd control is major. Your first impression, the herb and the essence. Visible to God, man, behold my presence. My talk, the walk, inhale the fragrance of the schoolboy going wild, king acting vagrant. From the back page to a packed place, that's grace. Nice is the wild card, Brody's my ace. The birth of prolific, risen from the dirt to exquisite. Awareness bred to go get it. A different plane of physics, super spectacular. Boogie Brothers bang for the city's inhabitants. Move the nation coast to coast, cafe to parlor. Fans loving, fools hating, saying we a problem.
You know what the cool thing is though? Is that we still making music in the same neighborhood that we back in the day. Green-Eyed Jack stay right up the way, there's people right there. And then the studio is right around the corner. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Yo, Av, yo. For lavish living is the mission, life exquisite. Take in the ambience and the succulent dominions. Obese pockets, gold kicks on my chariot. Royal luxurious design, King Richie kid, never fold. Street code, ode to the family. Geometry equals the peep game of this reality. Grizzly prime times and grimy raps, so watch your back. Selling your soul is not worth 1,000 stacks. Or peace of mind, cipher divine, sit back, relax. Pro milk and honey, let it ooze over butter tracks. Old school rules and funny cats, she giving that Thunderdome, and we call her Mad Max. Baby doll's a fiend for that good life. She giving out pie, I want the biggest slice. Win the dice, roll and watch how you gamble. That's that old Kerry Washington. This life hustle is so scandalous.
Hell yeah, we've been hustling for a long time. Grinding, east to west. We still showing and proving. You know, can't stop, won't stop. Bulletproof rhetoric, sedative for simps, adrenaline for desert gorillas in the mist. The syllabus is timeless, rebel in the black fist, coded doctrine, pass through rhyme and a fat kick. In the eye of the storm, brothers rise and perform. The mic is a wand, fire and ice in our palms. Verlander and Nebula make the crowd respond. The anthem from the tandem, we the squad. Peep the God said Soul Sonic, we've been on it. To break what's to eat, graffiti is the tonic. The soundtrack provided by the DJ spinning. The narrators Aquafyde, knowledge and the wisdom. Jordan and Pippin, the Dobermans are loose. Forge in the scripture, giving y'all the school. Diamonds in the rough, the game's corrupt. Keep it moving, show improving. You either do or die while you're losing.